8 years ago, I found myself in a rehab room based on the choices I made being around the wrong people. The very next morning, this freedom was still here from where the Lord had set me free the night before, from drugs, from alcohol, from gambling, from adultery. And man, for the first time in 5 years, I was not hurting anymore. And I knew this freedom was real. And I said, Lord, I didn't know how to pray. I said, Lord, I'll give you the rest of my life if you will teach me how to live in freedom every day. And I just began to pray that every day for the next couple of weeks. But I knew there was something more that the Lord wanted to do. Fast forward 3 months, and I was out on my farm one day working some cattle, and I took a break. I sat on my tailgate, and I noticed, when I sat down, I noticed that this truck was pulling up. And this tall guy got out of it. He was a sharp-dressed guy. Got out and asked if he could sit down on the tailgate with me and just talk. And I was like, yeah, I guess so. I didn't know this guy. He said he just felt like he needed to stop and say, hey, I want you to come and visit a Bible study that me and some friends are doing, 4 or 5 guys. We do it at Monday from 12 to 1 at lunchtime on our lunch breaks. But to be honest with you, I was uncertain about whether to go and attend this group or not. I didn't know this guy, but I did sense something was different about him. I mean, he just showed up. I didn't know him. And I began to remember the prayers that I had prayed, at rehab. And when I got home from rehab, I was praying, Lord, teach me to live in this freedom every day. And I sensed this was the Lord that was sending this guy. So I went for the first time. First time was the hardest. I went and fellowship with it was 4 or 5 other guys there. Fellowship, and all we did was some of the guys had lunch they brought, and we just sat there and fellowship for 1 hour and read a Bible verse or two, and had a Q&A time there, and I still didn't know what to make of it. But about 3 weeks into this, I had this guy from the group call me one day, and just out of the blue, he said, Tommy, said, hey, I just felt like I needed to call you and just see if there's anything I could pray with you about. And I didn't know what to think. It's one of the first times that this really become real to me, was when somebody from this group that I've only known for 3 weeks called me to check on me and to see how I was doing. And I began to think back. Life change happens in the context of relationships. As I said before, as I was in rehab, the reason I was in rehab was because of the choices I made with hanging out with the wrong people. So I began to hang out with the right people through this group, and the Lord began to do a work in my life, and He's still doing it today. It's a funny thing, purpose and people and the way them two go together. My life didn't have any purpose back before that first small group. Since then, my wife and I have had the opportunity to attend many small groups. Even though we may not be able to tell you what we studied, we can tell you who we studied it with. And now we even get the privilege to lead small groups. And it's very encouraging to me, it's dear to my heart to see the transformation taking place in other people that's taking place in my life. So why small groups? It's where life change happens. And it's just easier doing life together.